A chance to meet with the Orioles players during an exclusive autograph session. The annual State of the Orioles address followed the event. Dan Duquette and Buck Showalter spoke with the fans, and Dan Duquette said he is not writing the Orioles off despite their 46-50 record.
But I still have hope for this year's club. I got a lot of confidence in the guys that we have that we can put it together. You know, this is a tough division. You know, day in and day out, we have to compete against the toughest teams in the league, and invariably we do a pretty good job. This year we haven't had the starting pitching that we need, but the other elements of our ball club are intact, and if we can get a little bit stronger pitching and add to the pitching, we can still make a run of this. I think we're about 4 games out of the wild card, and that second wild card gives you a lot of hope till late into the season. And we're gonna see what we can do this week, see if we can help our ball club and strengthen the club so that we can give you a contending team year in and year out.
Time of year, be careful, because the same passion and care that you have for the Orioles, gosh, they wouldn't do that, would they? Gosh, they wouldn't do that. Or believe me, no, we're not. We're right there with you. We're as close to as you are. But you watch, if there's some way to improve the Orioles, we will. But understand from my perspective that I'm in there 25 guys every day. They don't want to hear or read about me commenting and coveting somebody else's players. It's about our players, the guys here. And everybody's got pimples. Everybody's got dents in their armor. There's not a perfect player. There's not a perfect coach or manager or whatever. So be careful about coveting somebody else. You might figure out you got just as good, if not better, right in your backyard, and you better figure out a way to get it back to its track record and potential.
This team has a great tradition of great starting pitching, which we no longer seem to have. What are you going to do long-term to fix this problem on this team? We're getting tired of having our brains kicked in night after night.
Well, that's a strong consideration, right? It's all about pitching, pitching, and pitching. And we've been able to compete effectively without having the best starting pitching. I have to tell you, I do like Dylan Bundy and the job that he's done, and I really like Kevin Gausman's talent. I just wish he could get more consistent and apply that talent. Beyond that, we're going to try to find starters wherever we can. We still have a very strong bullpen, but I think you hit the nail right on the head. At any competitive team, it starts right on the mound. It's a game of defense, and we need better starters. And we're going to see what we can do to develop some pitching here. And then, of course, we're going to look and see if we can acquire some pitching wherever we can. There's just not enough to go around. You look across the industry, and we just played that team from Texas. Now, Texas is one of the teams that's been very competitive, like the Orioles, over the last 5 or 6 years. Texas, the Yankees, and the Orioles have been the top 3 teams in the league, and they have the same issue. It's a really critical issue to have a good team year in and year out, to have good starting pitching. But the fact of the matter is there aren't enough really good starters to go around the league. So when you have them, you got to maximize that. And if you don't have them, you got to start looking for more. And we're always looking for more.
I have a question for Buck, and thank you for sticking around with us for so long. But my question really goes to, is there a standard strategy to pull a starting pitcher out? Last night I found myself yelling at the television.
Yeah, me too. I would have too. If I knew how everything was going to turn out. The strategy, the problem with if you take a guy out in the 3rd or 4th inning every night, I knew he was struggling the first couple of innings. He knew it, his teammates knew it, and most of all, you knew it. But understand that you're hoping they're going to get on track, because he has pitched well, and pitch into the 5th or 6th inning. If you take your pitcher out of the game every night in the 2nd or 3rd inning, your bullpen blows up, and everybody down there is on the disabled list, and you got movement back and forth. One of the reasons, the last 4 or 5 days before last night is our bullpen for the first time all year is kind of in place. We've got it kind of like we need it. In order to do that and keep it that way and win our games that we need to win in the late innings, we cannot be having the pitcher spit the bit in the 1st or 2nd inning. So I'm right there with you. I think we all knew that he was struggling, but also being able to pitch the 3rd, the 4th, and some of the 5th allowed us to be able to win the game tonight.